And joining us now to discuss is Paul Eisma, head of trading at crypto finance firm XBTO Group. Welcome to the show, Paul. So what do you make of Bitcoin's rebound that we're seeing today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. You see, obviously the equity market's rallying. We're really just in part of this, this broader medium-term range, as well as, in other words, from 30 to 40, then it shrunk to 30 to 35. And, I think it was, very healthy to test below 30. It didn't run, perpetual funding rates, the cash and carry rates are, they're at healthy, non-extreme levels that would give support below 30. There's stable coins that are decently healthy. So I think there's a lot of money that's going to be put to work below 30. So
any truth to this B word event giving Bitcoin a boost? Elon Musk saying that SpaceX holds Bitcoin, that's a bullish sign, or are you not surprised?
Yeah, I think, listen, it's Elon is going to do what Elon does. I think, there's going to be a diminishing return on, previously what he said, and then obviously what he's going to say currently, and then in the future, people are aware of, what he's doing, and then potentially this, resuming of, accepting Bitcoin as a payment for Tesla. Like it's out there. I think it will be positive. I think it will be treated differently. Again, the point of diminishing returns than the initial, spike up that we had when he originally, proclaimed that.
Right.
There's a couple of charts floating out there that if you can actually see where Elon first tweeted and then when he took it down, I mean, that leaves us basically at this 30 to 35 level, right? So without Elon, we would be here anyway. So,
right.
I think,
XBTO Group, you guys are huge. You have OTC desk trading, a lot of finance offerings. Do you see institutions building positions?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. There's again, these are the conversations, and there was money to put to work. Like I said, I think could we test below 30 even deeper? Sure. I mean, but these are levels that I think are going to be more compelling to smart money, to put money to work. We did see that over, the past couple of days. But again, it's a narrative that's been out there. Again, it's the on-chain fundamentals. I understand are maybe not so bullish. The active addresses. How many times people are Googling, Bitcoin and crypto, things like, miners and, but, like I said, this is this level, the 30K level, has been spoken about for quite a long time, and I think, like I said, institutional gunpowder is going to be ready and willing to deploy capital, and I think they've started to.
Paul, as I get attacked by a vicious fly, I wanted to talk to you about, I mentioned liquidations before. What other metrics are you watching?
Yeah, I mean, it's, listen, I think it's got to be more than just price and technicals. Crypto and, Bitcoin obviously trades beautifully in some sense using technical analysis, but at the end of the day, it's really reading tea leaves, right? It's, I guess there's a lot of further analysis that you can do on chain to kind of check what's not in price. So, I don't want to, I guess, speak of, any, investment or recommendations, but there are some, like I said, it's, what are the miners doing? What are, stable coins, the reserves are doing, what the inflows and outflows of exchanges are doing. There's a lot that you can get from doing sort of the quantitative analysis on chain that doesn't necessarily have to do with price.
Okay. And so, you mentioned that there could still be lower lows. So how are you hedging your risk?
That's a good question. I'm in charge of the derivatives book here, so the options book. So we provide liquidity, obviously, in blocks and then algos on, the primary options exchange Deribit and on the CME as well. So, Yeah, I mean, I'm long gamma to the downside, so I'm prepared to be buying down there for sure. Implies have sold off since we, in the initial sell-off where, implied vols did spike up, but like I said, we've been stuck in this medium-term 30-40 range, and then 30 to 35K range, which has seen implied sell off. Realize has been really compressed. Skew is still for the downside, but like I said, it's a narrative that's been out there, so I think people should be prepared. I don't think people are surprised. I think, the surprise is when it goes beyond the level that the market expects, and that's when sort of volatility really gets bid up. So yeah, I mean, it's I guess that's how I'm using. I'm basically using the options market to trade volatility.
You mentioned that the skew is positioned for the downside, and it is so to be prepared for making lower lows. But the fact that it didn't make a lower low yesterday, or today rather, is that a good sign or perhaps a bullish sign?
Yeah, it's really tough to say because we're really stuck in this, like I said, the medium-term range. I mean, we need to really break out of the range. Sure, I think it's short-term bullish, right? But we're, I guess 9 days from the end of the month, the big expiry. There has been a tendency for spot to sort of drift lower into the end of months and then rally once, sort of the positions are, cleaned out. Granted, I understand this is a bit of a different dynamic given tells this cone that we've been trading downwards. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm sort of neutral at these levels because we still are in this broader range. Is it really, buy 30, sell 35, or buy 30, sell 40, perhaps? Like I said, without you can look at on-chain for some clues. It's always obviously very hard to tell. But without sort of purely fundamental catalysts, for example, maybe some sort of reading on an ETF, when that may get approved, or perhaps let's just see the diminishing return of like a Jack Dorsey at Twitter. Elon. There's a lot of So I spoke about on-chain fundamentals, the off-chain fundamentals, which is, basically, private capital coming into the space. The FTX valuation. Jack announcing, the DeFi project on, the Bitcoin protocol. I mean, these are all very positive. So, those that are, sort of can see, I guess, from, not only within the trees and the weeds, but the bigger picture. We're here to stay. It is, yes, there's sort of less interest levels, but I guess it's always been that way, right? You really want to buy low, sell high, but it seems that there's greater interest at higher levels, which means I guess you're buying high to sell higher, which you can make money that way as well.